Hi guys, we posed a question earlier on, what does success mean for you? And I wanted to go through a couple of little things. Success means so many different things to so many different people. What do I actually mean by that? Well, a lot of people will think, you know, maybe having a successful business is going to make them happy. And other people may think, well, okay, how do you define success? Success being the amount of money that you earn in that business, or success meaning that you've helped more people out? Is there a balance? That's basically what I'm trying to say. And the answer to that is yes, there is a balance, because I deal with a lot of people who are unbelievably successful, who have got high-powered jobs and six-figure incomes over £100,000 per annum, but have the most miserable relationships with friends, family, kids, spouses. And would you say that that was successful? Would you think that that was something that you have to balance? Because you can't really have one without the other. There has to be some equilibrium there. There has to be, I would like to be successful in a certain area of my life. I would like to have a successful relationship, let's say, for example. I would like my partner to feel that I love them, I care for them, and I would do virtually anything for them. But then you've also got to think to yourself, okay, that's all well and good if you live in that type of world where your relationship with this person is the most important thing. We know that it forms part of it. I'm certainly not saying that it doesn't count. It does, because they're the things that we need. They're the things that we need to fulfill us, things that we need to do to make us happy. But what we also need to do is that we need to try and get that balance right. We need to ensure that we are successful in other areas of our lives. And the thing that I find with the majority of clients that I tend to speak to, certainly with regards to them coming to me and saying, okay, Carl, well, you're a success coach. I'll go through that in another video, because I get lots of people asking me, well, what makes you successful? But if I can go and explain just a couple of things, then maybe hopefully that you'll gather from what I'm going to say to you now is that you will understand. Being successful is not being massively successful in one area of your life and neglecting the other areas of your life. We have a system whereby when I'm with a client is that I'll run through a process of saying, okay, so what is it that you need from me? How can I help you? And what are the best ways that we can move forward? Within coaching allows the clients to be able to come up with the answers themselves. With mentoring is, I have succeeded in this area and you will follow what my suggestions are, and I will get you up to the same level as what I am. That's not what being successful is about. Being successful in your life is about saying, well, what are the areas that need improving, and how can you actually do that without spreading yourself so thinly? And like we talked about before, I like to use the terminology juggling and spinning plates. If we think of those things in your mind's eye, is that we're doing several different things at once and not really looking at one particular thing. Now, people say to me, but Carl, I need to put a roof over my head. I need to make sure that my kids are fed, they wear nice clothing. I need to make sure that my wife is happy, that we have everything that we would like to have in our life. And I said, yeah, that's commendable. That's exactly what the majority of people want in their lives as well. But what happens when you get to a certain point when your kids are old enough that when they look back on their lives and realise that maybe that my mum or my dad worked all the hours God sends, they seem stressed every time that we spoke, they didn't really have any time for me, there was no mum and child time, and I felt that there could have been more. Now, most of you guys know that my story with Max is that we almost lost him, and that put a totally different spin on our relationship. It made me realise the things that, am I really successful at being a dad? Am I really successful at being there at every single moment that he wants me? And I'm not going to say that I've got that right now, but I'll tell you something. I've probably got a much better relationship than I ever had before. I've probably got a much better relationship than a lot of people out there who are working all the hours God sends and don't really see the kids or don't really see the families as much as they would like to. Is this all making sense to you? Because if it is making sense to you, then maybe that there's areas of your life that if I was to coach you and we would sit down and we would talk about success, what would you like to be successful in? I get a lot of clients that go, I would like to lose a massive amount of weight. And then we talk about being happy. We talk about, would that make you feel successful, that you have reached that area of your life? And a lot of clients say, yeah, that would make me feel good. And then further down the line, when they've reached them goals, is that they will look back and go, well, okay, that's maybe one area of my life. What have I had to give up to get to that point? I'm not talking about things that make you happy now. I'm thinking about a specific task that's made you feel successful, because being successful as well also gives you confidence. It makes you feel good. It improves your self-esteem. You start to go up in your own expectations of life. You realize that the things that maybe that you've not been so successful for or been successful at in the past is that you've now got an opportunity. It's never too late to look back. Look at me. For the first 13 years of Max's life, is that I was constantly pushing to keep a roof over our heads, put food on the table, to make sure that he had everything that he could possibly ever want. And the one thing that he wanted was time. Just time. Time to be with someone who genuinely looked after him, who genuinely cared, who genuinely wanted to spend that time with him. And if you like, mentor him as well, because I do a lot of that with Max. And responsibility on me to be successful in that area of my life is actually quite huge, because my responsibility is to ensure that his life is as successful as he can possibly be. I'm not wanting to be the best football player in the world, but being the best person that he can possibly be, being the best version of Max Norman that he can be. Okay, so I hope that this video that's coming up to nearly 8 minutes long has made you think a little bit more about your area or areas of your life that maybe that you're successful in right now, or that you would like to be successful in, but maybe thinking about the small things that just need tweaking a little bit, and maybe a little bit more appliance. You need to apply yourself a little bit more to those areas, so that when you do look back on your life, and when your friends, family, kids look back at their life, is that they can see that you did do everything that you possibly could. You were there for them at every single stage. It's important. It really is. Well, that's important for me, and that's what success means to me. But I will talk to you more about success within a business level as well. I know that I get a lot of guys and girls that are very highly qualified and very highly successful in their lines of business and what work that they do. And that's something that we'll touch on maybe in another video. Guys, have an awesome evening, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.